Hey guys, welcome to another Corbett Gaming Master Chief Collection video. This is the final mission of Halo 3 in the LASO campaign playlist. This is the Halo mission. The primary person doing much in this mission, I'm doing it with a co-op partner, as I would suggest most people do. You could always solo LASO this one. It's probably one of the easiest ones to solo LASO, but I just prefer to have a partner so that those unfortunate deaths that happen sometimes when you're doing LASO are not quite so painful, since you still get checkpoints. Here at the beginning of the mission, the main person doing anything really is going to be whoever your best player is, and you want that player to be the host so that they're the person that starts off with the rocket launcher. What you're going to want to do is at the beginning of the mission have the second player just stay in this tunnel that I'm in right now. Meanwhile, the person that's the host that's going to be doing the bulk of the legwork here, he's going to run forward and punch this first flood enemy and grab his gravity hammer there. Immediately after you grab that gravity hammer, you're just going to follow up along the left-hand side here as fast as you can. It shouldn't be too difficult to outrun all the enemies as long as you don't engage them there at the start. Once you get up here to the end of the ledge here, you're going to do a quick grenade jump up onto the building with a frag grenade. And then from here, you're going to do a gravity hammer jump right there on that lip. You just look down and hit the ground with your gravity hammer right as you're pushing the jump button. This is pretty easy to do if you're running bumper jumper, because you can just hit the left bumper and the right trigger at the same time. I usually hit the gravity hammer just a split second after the jump so that I'm in the air as the hammer hits the ground, and it'll launch you up onto this ledge that I'm walking on. From there, you just come up to the top like you saw me do, and then jump down onto this ledge and over onto the snowy upper cliff up here. You'll see Sergeant Johnson around to the left-hand side. If you get up here quick enough, he won't have a chance to come over to the building, which is actually a good thing, because if he's on the cliff up next to the building, then you'll be getting shot at by the flood enemies while you're trying to kill him here. So go ahead and shoot a rocket or two into him and kill him. What's going to happen is you don't want him to be too close to the ledge. He can sometimes drop his laser over the ledge there. That's another reason that you want to play co-op, because if he does, you can just revert to your last checkpoint. Once you kill him the first time, you get a laser that only has one shot left in it. So you're going to go ahead, you see here I'm maneuvering him away from the ledge a little bit. I just want to make sure that my second laser doesn't get dropped. When you kill him the second time, this laser that he drops the second time has infinite ammo, which is very, very nice because it makes clearing this tower super easy. Just stay over here on the far side of the cliff. Don't go over near the building where the enemies start engaging you, because you really don't want to have a random brood shot or rocket or fuel rod get launched over at you when you're not really paying attention to one side or the other and get killed after all your hard work. So on this part right here, you're just going to kill off all the enemies on the top of the building. Probably is going to take you about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how quick you are, to clear out the top of the building. And once you do, make sure to do a quick sweep, look down to the left and the right, and make sure no more enemies are spawning, because once you clear off the top, sometimes, as you'll see shortly in my video, some more enemy drop pods will show up. But once again, it's super easy because you're over here on the safety of your ledge. Your partner's still down in that cave, just kind of taking a breather, chilling out, having a Coke, not really doing much of anything while you do all the legwork here and kill all these enemies. Once all the enemies are dead, you'll jump over to that building and initiate the next portion of the level. So I'm going to stop the narration here for a minute and just speed up this part and pick back up on the after the cutscene, okay? Alright, as you can see, the building's clear here, so you can just jump down and it's nice and safe. Go ahead and run on through the building. It should teleport your partner to you here as you're walking through the building. I think right about now, sometime during this little funky slowdown scene there is where your partner kind of shows up. See, he's there behind me now, so he's following me in. So just go ahead and run through the building, and you'll reach this final room where you have to finish off the monitor here. Obviously, I've still got the infinite Spartan laser, but you really can't do anything to him yet. This part's scripted, as most of you are probably well aware if you're trying to do this LASO. So just wait a couple seconds here, dodge him, shoot him if you want, and eventually Johnson will wake up and shoot him, and you can have your partner, or you, it doesn't really matter, go pick up Johnson's Spartan laser and finish it off. Now, you'll see a couple times during my video that there's some funky choppiness. That's just due to the horrible net coding on Halo 3. I'm only playing with one co-op partner, and unfortunately the particular person I'm playing with here I don't have a superb connection to. So even with just two of us, we still had some times here and there where it got pretty choppy and slowed down on us. But at any rate, finish off the monitor there, and you'll begin the escape sequence. Now, this is actually the only part during my little co-op run where we did have a couple of deaths. We had one right here on these first few guys. I don't really know why. We just kind of got lazy and careless and died to those first few guys, but I went on ahead and edited out that death, and then we had, I think, 1 or 2 deaths during the Warthog Escape sequence, because by the time we got in the Warthog and made it over the first jump, my partner didn't have any shields. When you come out that door there, as you saw me do, go ahead and go down to the left, down below that ramp, and grab one of the ghosts. My co-op partner actually just jumped right off the edge and down to like the first or second level of the building, so he had to kind of make his way back up from the bottom of the building to get back up here with me. So at any rate, go ahead and grab a ghost, and just you can really just be super careful here. There's really no reason to try to go gung-ho and go over there Rambo-ing all those enemies. So just try to shoot as many of them as you can from a distance. Also, by doing so, you're giving those sentinels some time to kill off some of the flood that are up here on this upper cliff, which can be very helpful, because when you come around that first corner, you saw there were a few dead bodies for me. Well, if those guys are alive, it can be kind of annoying. They can knock you off the cliff and whatnot. So it's best to just take your time coming over here. That guy decided to take a swan dive over the cliff there. Anyway, take your time coming over. You know, shoot everything from a distance so that it doesn't engage you, kind of like I was doing with the Spartan laser earlier. If at any point from here on out, right here, you see me kind of trying to lure the enemies back to this hallway, if you or your partner sees the other person's shields down, and the way you know that is that they start sparking and having the electricity kind of rotating around them. See, my shields are down right here, so make sure you let your partner know, and they can let you know. What I'm going to do here is I just get my ghost into a safe position and then run down the hallway and punch this guy to get my shields back, because when you start the Warthog Escape, you really ideally want to have all your shields. You don't want to be trying to drive through it with both people's shields down. If the driver's shields are down, it's not as bad because he tends to have a little bit more protection from the Warthog, but the passenger, especially if the passenger's shields are down, he kind of sits up high in the seat, and it makes him kind of a sitting duck for the enemies. So as you can see, these last 2 or 3 combat flood forms here, we're just running in here and punching them all to make sure our shields are full before we begin the Warthog sequence. We kind of got a little careless there. I was really surprised we didn't die, because the exploding flood forms were coming around the corner just as we were wrapping up. So yeah, a little bit of carelessness there, but fortunately we didn't suffer too many consequences from it. We did make a big mistake in not punching those dead bodies once they were on the ground. When you kill those guys, you want to go ahead and punch their body on the ground so that it kind of breaks up into pieces, because otherwise when these big guys explode, the little spore forms will reanimate the combat flood, and then you got to start all over again killing them. And not only that, sometimes you get that thing where they're practically invincible and you got to punch them like 15 times to kill them. That's actually what happened for me on this guy right here. This guy takes, you'll see right here in my video, I think I punched him like at least 10 times, as well as putting quite a few rounds from my plasma rifle into him before he finally died. So it's really kind of a pain in the butt when they get reanimated, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure when you kill them the first time that you break their dead bodies up on the ground. And once again, I mean, if your shields aren't down, you can just kind of stay way back in your ghost and slowly pick off the enemies. But the only problem with that in this room, when you're first clearing it, those combat flood forms do have plasma rifles, and they do tend to try to just kind of keep their distance and shoot at you, which doesn't really do you a lot of good if you're in your ghost and you lose all your shields before you jump in the Warthog. So it's best to just go ahead, when you get down to just the last 2 or 3, for you and your partner to run in there and punch them to death, so that when you start this final portion, you both have full shields. Once you've cleared out all the combat flood and the exploding flood, take your time going down this hallway. I'm not sure if it's really just a glitch or if it's guaranteed to happen, but I have actually taken damage from those exploding walls in the past, and it's not worth losing your shields there, because you might have actually gotten a checkpoint after all the enemies were dead, and you don't really have a chance to get them back. So come out here with your partner. Whoever is your best driver, have that person obviously do the driving. The other one's going to get in the passenger seat. It's a little counterintuitive, because you would think you want them in the gunner seat, but they're very, very exposed in the gunner seat, and they just make for a prime target for the sentinels and flood to kill them, forcing you to restart checkpoints multiple times. So it's better, even though they're sitting up high in the passenger seat, they're not completely covered like the driver. They're still under more cover than they are in the gun. And since you're mostly going to be driving past everything anyway, there's no point in having them in the gun to begin with. Also, during this portion, if at any point, this is for the driver mainly, if you see that your passenger shields are down, try to make sure that you turn his side away from the sentinels as you're driving through the portions where the ground's falling out underneath you, because the sentinels will tend to fire towards the person that is closest to them usually. It's not 100%, but for the most part they tend to target the person closer. So if the driver has full shields and the passenger does not, considering the passenger has very little cover to begin with, it's just a good idea to have the driver's side of the vehicle be the one that's closer to the sentinels, so that the passenger doesn't get killed. I took a little bit of a risky jump there. What I was trying to do was stay to the left, further away from the sentinels rather than driving underneath them, because that first group of sentinels, for whatever reason, tends to be the most aggressive. Every time I've done this mission, I've actually done it 3 or 4 times now on LASO, and every time that I've done this mission, that first group of sentinels always tended to take my partner's shields completely down, and it's right at the beginning of the driving sequence. So what I did there is I just swung wide left on that first portion, and it made me take a little bit of a hairy jump. I just barely made it, so take it as you will. That's kind of a risk that I was willing to take to keep my partner's shields up. But obviously it's your preference how you want to approach this driving portion. You can see the little cut jump there. I cut out a death. We had, I think, 2 deaths. This portion right here, we got a little bit unlucky with the random number generator. We got a one of the flood spawned with a brute shot right around the very first corner, and every time we came around that corner we got knocked around a bit, so we died. I think we died twice there from getting spun around and shot at too much. So I just went on ahead and cut out those deaths just to give a more smooth run for the video here. That's about it as far as tips go. Really at this point it's just a matter of knowing the path through this area. I got turned around I think once or twice. You'll see me kind of spin around and go the wrong way. Like right here I think I went to the left, and that was stupid because you're supposed to go to the right around that pillar. But other than that, it's just a matter of making it through this driving sequence. And if you're doing it like I did, co-op, it's not a big deal, because unlike solo, you don't have to get really lucky. You don't have to make it through in one run. You do get checkpoints. Just try again, and you'll get through it. This mission's very easy if you do that infinite Spartan laser at the beginning. Probably, I would say, one of the top 2 easiest missions to do LASO in any of the Halo games. Maybe top 3, because there's 1 or 2 that are pretty easy in Halo 4. But at any rate, hope you guys like the video. This is my very first LASO walkthrough. I'm going to try to do more of them, but I really kind of suck at Halo, so this may very well be my only one, unless I can somehow manage to do a decent run through a couple of the other levels. Managed to finish this level in 27 minutes start to finish, and that was even with the 3 or maybe 4 deaths that we had. I think it was 3, it might have been 4. So it was a really good run. I was really happy about it. I was really glad I was recording it and thought I'd put it up here for you guys. Hope you enjoy it, and as always, if you do enjoy my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have yourselves a wonderful day.
Firing sequence initiated.